Come in, come in. Everyone is wandering this morning. I'm just going to give it a minute. Let people find a chair. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. How are you today? Are you good? Awesome. Me too. I am good today. I want to thank several of you for holding space for me the last 3 days. I spent the last 3 days doing a personal retreat for a minister who is beginning her sabbatical. And that is 72 hours of walking with someone who is in a spiritually emptying place. Because to go on sabbatical, different than educators who might go on sabbatical in order to go out and learn something new that they're going to teach, because they pretty much teach a set thing. For ministers, we are filling all the time that we're working. We're filling, we're reading something new, we're teaching something new, we're working on that. So when you go on sabbatical, it's an emptying process. Letting go of all the things that you think you have to carry. So we just spent the last couple of days doing that, and it was such a beautiful experience. I got to do some emptying of my own along the way, but most importantly, it reminded me of the strength of community, because I have reached out to several people and said, will you hold space for this? And there is something so beautiful about slowing down enough to do that work and actually feeling the container of community around you. Really feeling yourself held by the hearts of the people who love you. And so I just want to say thank you to those of you who were able to do that. I felt your presence. It gave me the energy to keep moving through that time, and it was a real blessing. So thank you so much. And I also share it because this is why we do this on Saturday morning, right? We come together to open our hearts together, to connect with one another, to experience oneness, to feel the sacredness of who we are as community, and to know that we're not alone in facing whatever we're facing in our life out there. So just take a moment this morning and look around. Just look. Meet eyes with each other. And I invite you to recognize that you are looking into the eyes of the holy. So now that you've done it, look again. To just see the eyes of the holy as they see you. And I want to read something to you. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination. The world offers itself to your imagination. Calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. Something really powerful about that sentence, isn't it? Announcing your place in the family of things. Wow, I love that sentence. Your place in the family of things. invite you to bring your hearts to this place, to your place in the family of things. Not that your place isn't out there with the wild geese as well, but for this 1 hour of time, your place in the family of things is right here. So I invite you to close your eyes, to settle into this place that belongs to you. Whether this is your first time here, whether you're joining us on Zoom, whether you have been here so many times you can't count it, feel this place as yours, as though you are here for the first time. And notice what you notice. Notice what you hear. Can you hear each other breathing? Remember what you just saw when you looked into the eyes of your beloveds. Remember the softness, the soft animal belly that allows the sweetness of the holy to permeate all we are. That is you. Let your belly be soft. Breathe into this moment all the way down to your belly, and let your belly be soft in the here and now. Notice what you feel. Feeling inside of you. Maybe you hear your heartbeat. Feeling what is inside. And then feeling what is outside. Maybe you feel the fabric of your clothing or your feet in your shoes. Feeling your own breath. As you breathe and it breathes you. Feeling the presence of those around you. The energy that is this room. And this precious moment in time. There is only now, and now, and now, and now. Any reference to the past or the future is imagination, memory, illusion. There is only now, and now, and now. And so it is.
And so it is. Welcome, everyone, to Unity Spiritual Center in the Rockies. I'm Paul Schwotzer, and thanks to
Janet Starr
for joining me today. We're going to sing a song called Say by John Mayer, and it was basically at the end of the movie The Bucket List.
Take all of your wasted honor, every little past frustration. Take all of your so-called problems, better put them in quotations. Say what you need to say, Say what you need to say. 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 Walking like a one-man army, fighting with the shadows in your head, living up the same old moment, knowing you'd be better off instead if you could only say what you need to say. 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 Have no fear for giving in. Have no fear for giving over. You gotta know that in the end, it's better to say too much than never to say what you need to say again. So even if your hands are shaking and your faith is broken, even as the eyes are closing, do it with a heart wide open. Say what you need to say. 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 Say what you need to say.
Good morning. Again. So we're going to do something a little different today. Are you brave? Ooh, what's she going to ask? You don't even know what I'm going to ask you to do, and you said yes. We're all dancing. Everybody up. No, I won't make you do that. So last week, we talked about synchro divinity, which is one of our core values. And this month, we are talking about synchro divinity all the way through the month because our core values are collaboration, compassion, authenticity, innovation, and synchro divinity. I'm pretty sure you could talk about collaboration, compassion, authenticity, and innovation without any coaching. I'm not so sure we know what synchro divinity is. And we're all here today, but 6 months from now, new people will walk in and hear us read that list of core values and go, what is that? What is synchro divinity? We know, we have a start at knowing, but we want to be able to talk about it because it's a word coined by Reverend Tony Bain, who is our Unity consultant, and it's not a commonly used word. So we want to know what that is. What have we decided to live into? Because that's what our core values are. Our core values are kind of our agreement about who we're going to be as a community. We are going to be compassionate with one another. We are going to collaborate. We're going to figure out what that means, collaborate. together in this community, which is different than any place else you might collaborate. We're going to innovate and do things in different ways. And we're going to be true to ourselves and authentic, to be able to speak through the voice of compassion and still be true to what is happening for us. Because that's when it's such a remarkable thing to have community, isn't it? When we can actually authentically express and do so in compassion and authenticity, that and be loved for who we are, even when we disagree with one another, because we did it kindly. I don't necessarily feel the same way you do, but I honor where you are. I'm happy to share with you where I am. When we can do that and we can be who we truly are with one another, we have found something so precious on this planet. And we are being intentional about creating that. And we'd like a little help, wouldn't we? Which is where synchro-divinity comes in. So synchro-divinity is different than synchronicity. Synchronicity kind of happens. We learned a little bit about that last week. Synchronicity is when the phone rings and it's your best friend and you were just thinking, I should call her. Oh, hi. Synchronicity. Lovely. Synchronicity is when you want a blue Buick and your next door neighbor puts one on the market 2 days later for a price you can afford. Cool. Synchronicity. Synchro-divinity is something different. Synchro-divinity is when something happens in your life that changes your life. It is something more than a common synchronicity. It's when something happens that you can only look at and go, there was the hand of the Holy was in this. Whether it was my hand as I express God or not, the hand of the Holy was in this. Meeting Mark was like that for me. We met, we knew, it changed my life, right? Forever. 1,000 things could have happened the day we met that would have stopped us from meeting. And yet not one of them could happen. We, by the way, will celebrate 25 years together on Tuesday.
Nice.
I love you. So, I want you to break up in groups of 3 because we're in rows of 6 and that makes it easy. I want there's 3 right there, baby, I can see it. Okay. I want you to break up in groups of 3, and if there's only 2 of you, that's okay. But we're going to take 10 minutes with the people just right around you to talk about what synchro-divinities have happened in your life. What has happened in your life that could only have happened by the hand of God? Go. You have 10 minutes. Zoomies, you're going to get broken up into groups. You have 10 minutes. If you're in the middle,
Yeah, some people aren't joining, so I'm moving people around. That, yeah, so I'm just moving them around. Mm-hmm.
All right, friends, you have about a minute to wrap up. Zoomies, you have about a minute. You may already be back, actually, now that I look. You are back. I see you, Penny. It's like, we're back. Okay. Let me wrangle your attention back in. Coming, that's all right. They'll come. Coming back. Coming back. Coming back. Come back, my friends. You would think that you people were friends or something. All right. I know it's a good thing, isn't it? This talking to each other thing. This talking to each other thing. How was that for you? Did you like talking to each other? Well, I ask you this because it's something that in Unity Worldwide Ministries we're playing with a little bit. We are talking as ministers about getting our people talking more and giving spaces in the Sunday service to really interact around whatever the subject is. And sometimes for some of us, we're uncomfortable. Like, I don't really want to talk to strangers. Okay, I get it. But it's an idea. It's a way. In some celebration centers, they are putting chairs in small groups and putting small tables in between them and putting a stack of questions on, and that's what they're doing for their Sunday lesson. They're coming in and answering whatever question they draw off the table and having conversation with one another. That's kind of an interesting idea, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, something you might want to play with. So we're not going to buy a bunch of tables, though. Just so you know. We can't. I'm in real trouble if I let you bring your coffee in here. So no coffee. But conversation, remembering, applying this to your own life is really important, isn't it? We started out with this lovely poem by Mary Oliver, and she talks about the gift of your imagination. So what I want to talk to you about now that you have a couple of stories, yours or someone else's in your mind, is the gift of synchro-divinity and how it sits juxtaposition to the idea of free will. Ooh, wait a minute. That synchro-divinity thing happened to me. What does that say? Who's pulling the marionette strings here? Wait a minute, right? It's an interesting consideration. So free will really is the ability to have your own agency. Agency means to make choice. And I will tell you that choice is your superpower. I don't care what you think your superpower is, your superpower for life is choice. You get to decide yes or no to every single thing. Everything. How you eat, how you care for your body, what you do has to do with when you're going to die, yes or no? Who's choosing? Me. Right? You can pay taxes or not pay taxes. There's consequences, but it's your choice, yes or no? Yes. Who you sit by, your choice, yes or no? The car you drive, yes or no? Where you live, yes or no? There are circumstances around our lives that play into the choices that we make. Economically, where we are makes a choice, makes us make choices. We still have choices around the circumstances. So when some divine happening happens, you have a choice, even if you think you don't. When you meet someone, as I did with my sweetheart, you have a choice to follow the urge or not. Will I or will I not? We chose yes. You get to choose. Every single thing that happens has an impact on you, and you get to choose. So I want to suggest to you that you get to choose before you choose. And what I mean is, in your, Charlotte's like, what? What I mean by that is, in your life, you are either willing to receive messages from the divine or you're not. Because here's the deal. When we receive messages from the divine, they come lots of different ways. They come as inner feelings and desires. First of all, we don't want to make those gods, because then we can't blow them off so easy. I have a real desire to uproot my life and go live at the base of Mount Shasta. I'm making that up. But I have this great desire. That means I have to uproot my whole life. That can't be God. I cannot have that be God, because if it's God, I have to follow that desire. But what if the most remarkable things that you feel and desire are inspired by your divine coming through and expressing as you? If we're really in that action, if we are really living into, I am the holy expressing, then we have lots of desires and a responsibility to look at them and ask what they tell us. So when you say to yourself, yeah, Ahriana, God doesn't talk to me. I'm really happy God talks to you. That's why I come on Sunday, so I can hear what God has to say. I'm going to say God is talking to you every single moment of your life, every single breath, right? God is talking to you. God is inspiring your lungs, moving through you, as you, communicating with you, using this vehicle to give you senses. Things you see that call your eyes, things you hear that call your ears, things you feel that you can't help but put your hands on. Because tactilely, your body wants connection with that thing. All of that is not by accident. This vehicle that we have, that is the center post for all that we are. Everything we are does not live in here. This is the access. You know when you see the globe and it has that access pole that isn't really there, but we draw that for ourselves so we can see the planet turning. Everything you are turns around this. This is the center of who you are, not the whole of who you are. Who you are is all out here, feeling and moving and touching and interacting, reaching out for life all the time. All the time. God expressing through the energy, the frequency, who you are. So why do we have this thing, this meat flesh bag? Why? Because it's like the thermometer that tells you what the temperature is outside. That mercury is the holy flowing through you, saying, oh, pay attention, feel this, notice that, there's this over here. This whole sensation that is us as human beings is the constant, ever-flowing invitation to notice that you are one. That the holy is moving as you. That's what it means when we say, I am God expressing. God is in every thought, every feeling, everything. Even the bad ones, yes. Why? Why? Why is God in my bad thoughts? Because you get to choose again. And life is all about agency. It's 100% about the choices we make. 100%. We are co-creating with God by the choices that we make. So when I tell you your choice is your superpower, I mean it. Oh, my thought was, do I want to do that? Bad idea. I don't think so. But for a minute there, right? We get to choose who we are. We get to choose how we will act. We get to be in gratitude for the wisdom that we gain over the years that allows us to make better choices. I don't know about you. I made a few questionable choices in my youth. How about you? Yeah, I did. My superpower, I got to exercise it, and I learned something. If the thoughts that you received were only one kind of thoughts, there'd be no choice. When we talk about synchro-divinity, we're talking about connecting to this present moment and understanding what is coming through us as the holy. Actually asking for that. I express as the holy. I give my thoughts to the holy. I open myself to bring through the most divine, most life-serving thoughts possible in any situation. We affirm it. I give my heart to feeling the most life-affirming, beneficial emotions I can feel in any situation. I give this body over to the divine, allowing it to be fully expressed as a vessel by which I get to know intimately the holy. That is a massive thought. The masters say you find the holy by going in, not by going out. All the masters, you find the holy by going in, not out. Because this entire vessel is here to facilitate your knowing who you really are. But you can tune it out. We're really good at getting up out of our bodies, living up here in the space above where we can think about yesterday and we can think about tomorrow, and we do not have to be in this moment. I don't even have to feel my body. My chiropractor sometimes says to me, you cannot wait until you get hurt. You can't wait till you feel it, because I'm really good at crawling out of my body. I have lots of things to worry about tomorrow, right? So I don't even feel it a lot of times. When I hurt myself, I don't even notice it. That's a truth. That could be true for several of you, that you don't even notice how your body is aching because you're not in the present moment, because our society wheels us forward, wheeling forward. And while we're wheeling forward, we're back here in the back of our head going, don't make that mistake again. Look at what's coming. Don't make that mistake again. And we miss right now. And right now is where synchro-divinity happens. In this moment, in our ability to tune into this vessel, we are given knowings. What is right, what is wrong. We know. Watch a little kid when there's a cookie jar on the counter, cookie on the table. Mom is over there. It looks like this, right? Are you looking? Why? Because we know. We have an inherent knowing. This thing that is us knows right or wrong. We know. And if you look back at those mistakes you made as a young person, you knew. You were just taking a risk. Just like the little kids with the cookie. This vehicle will be true to you. It will tell you what you need to know if you can get in the present moment with it. Right now, this moment is how you find synchro-divinity. You open yourself willingly. I am open and willing to express as the divine. I am open and willing to hear, to sense, to taste, to see, to know what the holy has for me today. And so it is.
So this song was written pretty sure in response to Hurricane Katrina. And Jimmy Buffett was one of the co-writers, and a friend mentioned this song to me, and I just felt like it had some very good and simple life advice. I bought a cheap watch from the crazy man floating down canal. It doesn't use numbers or moving hands. It always just says now.
Now you may be thinking that I was had, but this watch is never wrong. And if I have trouble, the warranty says, breathe in, breathe out, move on. And it rained, it was nothing really new. And it blew, seen all that before. And it poured, the earth began to strain. Punch a train, leaking through the door, tides at war.
If a hurricane doesn't leave you dead, it will make you strong.
Don't try to explain it, just nod your head. Breathe in, breathe out, move on. And it rained, it was nothing really new. And it blew, seen all that before. And it poured, the earth began to strain. Punch a train, buried the ninth ward to the second floor.
According to my watch, the time is now. Past is dead and gone.
Don't try to explain it, just nod your head. Breathe in, breathe out, move on. Don't try to explain it, just bow your head. Breathe in,
Breathe out,
move on. Oh, yeah. Okay, so while Paul is changing his tuning a little bit, I'm going to introduce this next song. It's a Peter Mayer song, and if you haven't had the opportunity to see him live, I highly recommend. A handful of us in this room got to see him perform with Joe Vegas back in this past May. He's an amazing songwriter that writes just beautifully deep, spiritual, and yet simple, very poignant music, and some fun things too. But we're gonna sing one of his simple and deep and beautiful songs. It's called "Breathe In." It's from his album "Monk in the World."
Hands open to the day. Breathe in, breathe out. Hands joined as if to pray. Breathe in, breathe out. Arms reaching to the sky. Then circling around, down to the earth. Eyes lifted to the light, to the light. Hands, branches catching rain. Breathe in, breathe out. Then rising like a stalk of grain. Breathe in, breathe out. Arms reaching to the sky. Then circling around, down to the earth. Eyes lifted to the light, to the light. Hands open to the day. Breathe in, breathe out. Hands joined as if to pray. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out.
Some moments are so sweet that we don't want to break the silence, right? You don't want to break the moment. That's why you'll see some of us do this. Because it is a way of, there are two things I like about this. One is that it allows us to stay where we are energetically. And two is that I was taught that this breaks energy. Oh, right? It is a break of where we are. So there's something really sweet about being able to put your hands in the air and acknowledge and also hold the silence of that moment. Perfect songs, by the way. Thank you. So how do we get into the present moment? Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. In this present moment, I want to acknowledge these beautiful flowers up here. I am a sunflower fan. I talked with Judith this morning. She brought these flowers in memory of her husband, who she said planted more than 200 sunflowers. And they're such a lovely memory and so bright and beautiful. So Judith, thank you, and we honor your husband. I know you're back in fellowship, but we honor and remember with you. This synchro divinity thing is a big deal, gang. I can't think of a better word for you to have chosen in your core values than that, because it speaks to our willingness to be guided. And it also can be confusing because in unity, we spend a lot of time talking about this way that God expresses as us. And that's part of what makes us different than other spiritual communities who really refer to a God outside themselves. But it's confusing, isn't it, when we talk about collaborating with God when I'm expressing as God? What the heck does that mean? So this really understanding that this vehicle is where the collaboration happens, is where the guidance is found, is really important. And learning to trust it. A lot of us have, through life and through experience, learned not to trust ourselves. But there's a difference between trusting what automatically comes through and opening yourself to express as the divine. And if you can start your day asking to be that full expression, you will find more and more that your guidance is strong and that the decisions you make are good decisions for you and for the world around you. And is there any deeper work we could do than to express as the living hands, heart, and presence of the Holy? How would the world change if just that message was what we did every day? It will change personally, but it will change everything about the world that we live in. So I leave you with that thought as we go into our offertory time and invite you to consider also the good that we do in the world. Several of you have spoken recently. We've been working on setting up dinner for some folks that are moving in, some young people that are moving into the neighborhood who have been without homes. We are working to set up some regular dinners. We do a lot of work with West Side Cares to take care of our neighbors who are without, because we have. And there's this interesting thought for me always about the fact that it says, as you give, so shall you receive, not the other way around, right? If I give, then I'm going to receive. How good are you at receiving? Getting better and better. Good for you. We are receiving all the time. It's the same thing. We are receiving grace. We are receiving beauty. We are receiving comfort. We are receiving ease. We are receiving our own ability as the God self to forgive ourselves for the mistakes that we've made, because nobody else can forgive us. We have to do that for ourselves, right? We are receiving so many gifts all the time, and I honor the giving that gets done here. I honor the people who give so many. As I look out on your faces and consider how this, do you know we have 34 teams? Look at the size of this. We are 160 people when everyone who's a member is here. We're 160 people. But we're about 1,000 people on our email list. I think 1,034 to be exact. We have 34 teams of people giving into this community of their time, their talent, and their treasure to do what this community does. So as we give today, I want to invite us into thankfulness, into gratitude for the way this community steps up, for who you choose to be as members of this community, for yourself and for each other. So as we say our message of abundance, our affirmation of abundance, let's be in thanks for who we are and what we do. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Well, Kermit seems to have taken up residence in my throat, so thankfully Janet's singing this song, and I heard Amy Grant in concert in March, and she sang this song, and I fell in love with it. It talks about the passage of time, and one of my favorite things, and you get to help us out, so let's tell them what their part is.
Okay. Okay, first I need 3 people that can hold a beat. Raise your hand.
after we sing Our Time Is Now.
January, February, March, the days are marching forward. April, May, June, and July, they fly like a hummingbird. August, September, October, the year is almost over. November, December arrive, another year come and gone. Time is illusion. Time is a curse. Time is all these things and worse, but our time is now. Oh, yes, our time is now. Oh, let us sing before our time runs out. The sound of your laughter, your smile, these things are never changing. But Monday I blink and it's Friday. I wish I could slow it down. Saturday, Sunday, now Monday, another week starting over. Seconds to minutes to hours, here's what I've found. Time is illusion. Time is a curse. Time is all these things and worse, but our time is now. Oh, yes, our time is now. Oh, let us sing before our time runs out. Time is illusion. Time is a curse. Time is all these things and worse, but our time is now. Oh, yes, our time is now. Oh, let us sing before our time runs out. I wanna sing before my time, yeah, runs out.
You sound great, thanks.
Yes, thank you. Good job. And good job on the percussion.
Perfect. You guys heard of Kairos time? Kairos time is when you are driving in your car and you have to be somewhere, and you know the clock says you have 9 minutes and you have to be there in 7. And so you say, I'm just going to stretch this time out. I'm not sure how it's going to happen, but I'm going to get there. Yeah. Anybody ever done that? It works. How does that happen? I don't know. How many of you, when I said, I will call you up here to bless the money, come up before I forget? Come on. Did you already put it away? All right, all hands that way. Many, many thanks for the good gifts and blessings as the generosity of this community flows into the world. So, how many of you, when I said you get to choose when you die, went, okay, Ahriana, that's a little too far? A couple of you. All right. So I want to offer you, just so you know, that it's believed that in the mythology, we don't know this for a fact, in the mythology that is unity, that goes back and looks at our founders, Myrtle and Charles. It's believed that Myrtle decided when she was leaving, that she spoke to everyone, spoke to the community, spoke to her friends, went to her room, laid her body down, and did not rise from there. These are people, Myrtle and Charles, who worked every single day with what we teach here, who it was what they did. It was not just an idea in their head or something they heard on Sunday. It was what they lived. They sat in their homes and meditated and connected and really took accountability for their lives. So I offer you this because we speak about all kinds of things here, and you can listen, and you can go, cool idea, and then you can get out and drive in your car and go home and not think about it again until next Sunday. Your choice is your superpower, right? Or you can hear this, wonder for yourself, in the field of synchronicity, as synchro-divinity, why are you hearing this? Why are these words coming to your ears? There are 1,000 other people. There are 100,000. There are 500,000 other people in Colorado Springs who could be sitting in these chairs right now. But they're not. It's you. It's you who got up this morning and something inside of you said, yes, I am going. Even if you said, I don't really want to, but yes, I am going. Whatever brought you here? What if it's not by accident? What if it is synchro-divinity at work? And this is the moment that you make a choice for yourself that changes your life. Because you decide you're going to more than hear. You're going to breathe in the divine, breathe out the divine, and live as the holy you are. Do you believe that will change your life? Yes. Yes, it will, friends. Thank you for making time to be here this morning. I'm going to turn this over to Charlotte and let you have a couple of announcements. And Charlotte, thank you for covering for us today.
I'm so happy to be here. It's such a great day to be here. And thank you, Ahriana, for that wonderful message. You can hear me, right? Yep. Okay, great. I'm working right then. So I have a few announcements. I guess 3 right now. Monday, 3 Mondays or 4 Mondays in August, is Gentle Chair Yoga with Lenora. I can't read this morning. August 12th, 19th, and 26th. So we have 3 Mondays left from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Everyone is welcome to attend, and donations or love offerings are accepted. Number 2, the Unity Team Leaders Meeting. If you are a leader of a team or group, and a lot of you are, then please join Reverend Ahriana for a discussion about collaboration and community leadership on Wednesday, August 14th at 6 p.m. via the Unity Zoom. The meeting will also be recorded. And the third announcement, the Metaphysical Study Group meets Thursday, August 15th at 6 p.m. in the library. All are welcome to attend. And I want to remind you to check the weekly Unity newsletter, online calendar, and Facebook page for updates on events. And that completes my responsibility as the platform assistant. So I'm going to step over here and let you know that I am your prayer chaplain on duty today. And I will be available in what is the redone prayer chaplain office, which is the first door on your left as you're going toward the fellowship hall. And then after you've passed there, don't forget to go have lunch at the fellowship hall. And so I will be available to pray with anyone who has a need or wants to celebrate something awesome that's happened in your life in that room for about 10 or 15 minutes. I want to thank you all, our musicians, for all that you did today. What a wonderful presentation we had. It was lovely and delightful. And I want to thank everyone who has served today, our ushers, our fellowship team. They've got some wonderful food prepared for you. And I thank all of you for being here, because each of you makes a real difference when you come into this space or join us on Zoom. So thank you. And if you will, if you're ready, please join me in our closing prayer. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And now, if you want to stand, we'll prepare for the singing of our peace song. And let's just take it to the world while we're singing. Open your hearts and let the peace flow.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God our Creator. We are family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
It's a wrap.